What's up, everyone? My name's Chad Peters. This is the X Groove live stream. Doing my first vertical stream today, so we're going to check it out, see how it goes. Hopefully it's working in the YouTube shorts. I'm going to just double check it real quick, and then I'm going to get to starting this with a little bit of drumming. Going to do some 4 pedal work real quick, but I just want to see how the live stream's going with this. Ooh, and it is YouTube shorts. That's freaking cool, dude. What's up, Serge? Hang on one second. I'm going to get this out of here. Cool. Looks like the live stream's working. I'm excited. I'm going to try to get more of this going. Serge, man, I hope you had a good week, dude. Excited that you keep coming back to the stream, man. Appreciate it a lot, dude. I enjoy this. So, yeah, no worries. I'm going to get into some ergonomics, how we set up the drum set for better flow today. And also how to develop a little more feel for your ghost notes, how to get the idea of ghost notes, and some exercise to go about it, and how to put them to a couple common grooves that'll really just enhance your simple rock grooves. So as we go along, I'm going to start this off and just get to some drumming real quick. All right, just got to get that out at the beginning. I hope everyone's having a good day today. Thanks for joining me on the X Groove live stream. Once again, my name's Chad Peters. We're going to dive right into talking about ergonomics of the drum set and how setting it up can give you a better playability right off the bat. So if you're struggling with certain grooves or coordination, just switching your kit up and making sure that you're balanced and even everywhere could actually take that and make it so much more easier right off the bat. I've seen it work multiple times. So one of the first things, hang on, let me change these lights, but one of the first things I want to talk about is setting up your pedals to be nice and comfortable for your feet. And that's a big issue because a lot of times we have our knees too far over the kick drum and we kind of get a cramp in our shin and we don't get that speed and that whip that we need. So one of the first things I do when setting up my kick or my whole drum set is take everything away, and we want to sit in our chair or our throne as if we're sitting in a chair about to watch TV. You kind of let your legs sit out and rest, and this is where you want your pedals at, right where your legs are at a nice, comfortable resting state. So this is actually really nice because you're getting the comfort of it, but it's actually a natural movement for the body, okay? So what you want to do is get some tape or a marker and mark your feet right where they're sitting. Then go put your pedals in place, okay? And this is, if you're doing double bass, that's where you want your bass drum pedal. And if you have a hi-hat and just a bass drum, then you want your hi-hat where that left foot is going to be, okay? Hang on one second. I'm just making sure these are all correct. Hang on one second. Okay, so once you get where your feet are comfortable at and you mark it, we get our pedals put in place, right? So you'd have your 2 kick drums and then your hi-hat. If you have a hi-hat, a lot of times it's hard for people to get it close to their bass drum pedal. I have mine hooked up to my bass drum. I took the legs off and such, so that's a different aspect. But as long as you're within that range of your hips and you don't have to stretch out for your hi-hat, that's a good thing. Everything you do, you want to have a nice balance to. You shouldn't have to like really stretch and lean your body to get to anything on your drums. Okay, so once you have your kick drums and your hi-hat in place, we want to talk about the snare drum. We want that snare drum right in between our legs, right between the pedals. And you want it at a height just a little bit above your knees to where if you need to, you can crack the rim of the thing, or the rim of the snare drum. And then what you want is your arms resting at your side very comfortably. So when you drop your hands, let's see, can't really see it because of my camera setup, but you want your hands to drop right down in the middle of the snare drum. Your sticks will be sitting right in the snare drum, and you're basically going to be in a nice 90-degree-ish angle. Okay, it doesn't be perfect, but at a resting state, I have my back rest, so I'm kind of leaning back, but at a resting state like this, you would have your snare drum right, or your sticks right in the middle of the snare drum. All right, so this is like a natural resting state, just like your feet. They're like in a nice, comfortable resting state. Your arms are in a nice, comfortable resting state. And these two, your kick drums and your snare drum, it's home on the drum kit, so that has to be your most balanced area because we're always... Okay? So, from there, we want to start talking about moving to the toms. So once we move to the toms, you should barely have to move your arm. Just a little stretch of the elbow. Look, I'm moving maybe about like 4 inches from my side. Same thing here. Okay, it should be a very comfortable movement for you. You shouldn't have to lean forward to get to your toms, and you shouldn't have to lean back to reach anything either. I mean, that would kind of make it a little funny. Sometimes you'll see me do that, but it's kind of more of a feel thing. Okay. Very comfortable movements. Now, if you look at the sides of your or the floor toms, right? I got 2 of them, so we'll get into that a little bit. But the 2 sides, same thing. Instead of moving your arm forward, you're going to move your arm just a little bit backward to reach it. And you can see it on this side better if I change. Let's see. Get rid of that. You can see when I go to my floor tom here, it's just a small movement. You can see how smooth it is between the 3 drums. Okay, same thing on this side. Okay. Very comfortable movements, very smooth. Everything you do on the drum set, you want to be as smooth and as easy to move to as possible. It's going to take a lot of the weight off of your brain when you're trying to do something complicated or new. You're not going to have to think about moving except for just actually letting it execute and do what it's supposed to do, okay? And that's where I'll get into muscle memory and other in other live streams. I'll get into muscle memory because that just takes development and rehearsal of the same thing over and over, and just... then you never have to think about moving to that drum ever, and it's just such a comfortable whip of the stick, you know? Okay? So, after I set up my kick, my snare drum, and then I set up my toms, then I move into my hi-hats are already there because of the natural placement of my kick drums, and it should be similar to you. When you go to your hi-hat, you shouldn't have to reach too far over with your hand, shouldn't have to lean or anything like that. It should be nice... So that's why I actually play open-handed, is because I don't like to cross and put my shoulder out of that kind of lean over, but I like to do the open-handed. All right, try to get evenness between the hands. I like the ambidextrous thing, open and left and right and stuff like that. Okay. So, got that all set up, right? We got this nice comfortable movement here. So after that, we look at our cymbals. We don't want our cymbals too high because you don't want to have to reach for them across the toms. You don't have to go too high. So my cymbals are just a little bit above. It's almost like the height of some of my drums above the cymbals, right? It's literally like you're lifting up for the tom just a little bit right here, and then you're coming up to the cymbal. A little bit more forward, but not much. Not even very much at all if you look at that. Maybe just like an inch or two, okay? Check something real quick. Like I said, this is my first vertical stream. I'm just making sure everything's situated and I can see everyone's chat and stuff like that. Okay, I see. Okay, no, the chat's working everywhere. I'm just double checking. Okay, Serge, what you got real quick? Hold on, let me see. I have a question. Is it more effective for the speed of playing on the pedal? Left, right, ankle swing, or heel down? I would say the left and right, your swivel like this, Serge. Okay? So I think that's going to give you a little more whip into the speed aspect. But there are guys that use the heel toe. I use the heel toe more for a feel aspect versus a speed thing. Okay? Let me finish this kit setup real quick, and then I will get to that, and I'll give you a little more demonstration, and I'll zoom in on the kick drum a little bit more. Okay, but real quick, so getting to the cymbals, we shouldn't have to reach for the cymbals real quick, or too much. Just a little up, same here. It's literally just a little upward motion to the stick, and you don't want your cymbals over where you're hitting the tom. Okay, it looks like it in my picture, but my cymbals are actually... It's hard to show you, but they're like away from where I'm hitting. So when I come up with the stick, I'm not striking the cymbal. So down just a little bit over, and you're gonna hit. Okay, nice and same thing with the rest of these. Right over my hi-hat, I have these similar to the position of my toms. So it's a little reach out here. And just a little upward forward momentum to reach that cymbal as well. Same thing on this side when I have it. Okay, not a lot of reach at all. Same thing over, well, these ones take a little bit more reach. That's just a natural way, because I feel like when you have the outer ones, you actually have to spread outward instead of coming inward as a circle like this. My kick goes out instead of like a deeper in, because when you get to these ones, you have to tuck your arm too far back, and then it puts tension on the muscles, kind of taking you out of a relaxed state of mind. So these ones I have to reach for a little bit, but it's a nice smooth. I don't have to lean to hit them. It's just a little outward whip, okay? So again, everything on your kit should be very easy to reach without any body movements whatsoever. Okay. Oh, thank you, Serge. I appreciate it, man. I believe really big, if you set your kit up to a comfortable state, you will actually see a large improvement in your playing almost right off the bat. And I will tell you, when I set up my drum set, I kind of feel like I'm due for a little rework on my drum set. But I could take up to 2 days to really set it up and feel comfortable, making minor tweaks and such. But because that first day, it's usually getting those pedals for the kick drums real comfortable, and then I kind of stay with it for a while, and I'll sit on the snare drum with it and play for a while to make sure I'm like as centered as possible with that. Okay, and then little tweaks with the toms. I feel like my toms could come a little bit forward sometimes, but with my wild arms, sometimes if they're too close, it makes it to where I can't move right. So, but yeah, give it a try. Let me know what you think, like when you set up your thing, or kind of go for a little reset and see how you feel. And I do recommend everyone, when setting up your drums, get a drum rug, mark it with some duct tape or Gorilla Tape or whatever, just so you know exactly where your stuff is and you can make minor adjustments, especially if you're playing shows and you're in a local band or something like that. Having a drum rug makes setting up on stage very quick and easy. All right. So that's that for that ergonomics lesson, how to set up your drum kit. I'm going to do a little drumming right now and move between the left and the right side of the kit and show you how I utilize that comfortability and the ergonomics to move smoothly between everything. So I'm going to kind of pick a little ostinato to play on the feet and kind of mess around and play over top of that. So. Hair got caught in my monitors. All right, 1 second. I got to reset some cameras for 2 seconds. All right, Serge, before I get into my ghost note lesson, I'm going to talk about the swivel technique for you. And I kind of went over this a little bit in the last week's stream as well. So I do think when going for speed that, I'm trying to see how I can zoom in with my kicks on the short view. That's a little harder right now. So what I'm going to do is show you a little bit how the swivel technique it takes a little weight off of the muscles and gives it a little momentum, and then once you learn to really whip them, you can get a lot of stamina and speed out of them. So I will show that. And then the heel toe, I kind of use it a little bit different, where I've seen people hit with their heel specifically and make a stroke. That's what that is right there. It's my heel. But I kind of more like use the drop of the heel. I been playing with the drop of the heel for like a flat-footed approach. So I lift up and smack the whole thing with my flat foot. And then on the way back down, I just let the foot fall and get a double stroke. Have you tried playing with 2 differently tuned snare drums? No, I haven't. You mean like having like a piccolo over here or a different size drum? Because I've seen a lot of dudes do that, and I never really got into that. I always thought that was cool. They do like a groove over, you know, a groove over one side. I've seen guys do that kind of stuff, and I was just like, huh, that's kind of cool. But I don't know, I like having my tom over there for... Do you have 2 snare drums on yours, Serge? But yeah, check it out. So with the swivel technique, we got like a... You can really get some whip with that snare, the swivel technique. Funny enough, I don't even typically... I wanted to work more on the swivel technique for that, but I actually use the flat-footed approach, where I kind of more so... I would say it's closer to heel toe, but I'm usually using the ankle as like a wrist motion, okay? Like instead of wiggling or something like that. So I just do my double bass like this without any wiggle. Turn this up just a tad bit. So yeah, I don't use a lot of whip. You could try that at 185 with the whip motion. Yeah, it gets a little bit... I want to learn to control that better, because I think it's actually more effective for longer, faster double bass playing. So I'm going to get more into that, and maybe I'll start demonstrating that more frequently. Maybe make it a work in progress. I'll do a little video of that and show you how I've progressed with it and my speed and how it's gotten better. All right, so I'm going to jump right into my ghost note lesson. I forgot to hit my damn timers over here. All right, so I've gotten a few questions about ghost notes and how to go about playing those. I'm going to talk about that. Let me switch this scene up real quick. So that's that, right? Okay. So should see some music on the bottom of the screen over here. So when getting into ghost notes, let me get this. Hold on, hang on. Okay. So what I did when I was first getting into ghost notes is I would just kind of play 16th notes between the hi-hat and the snare drum like this. Right? And then what you want to do is to get the feel of going from the soft ghost notes to a stronger backbeat or vice versa, I would ghost note everything, and then what we're going to do is actually... Where did my pencil go? If you look at the of 2, where'd it go? Hang on. This is all new to me. I set this all up last night. So if we look at the of 2 right here, right? We're going to accent that, okay? Sorry, it's just a little scribble line. So what we do is we play soft ghost notes like this. Okay, so what we're doing there is we're getting used to playing hard with the hi-hat or like at a normal volume. And then we're using a little idea to keep the ghost note soft underneath that. Try to control the soft ghost notes, and then even if you want to, keep those ghost notes soft and try playing a little harder with your hi-hat hand. You want to try to get a volume separation between the two hands, okay? And just get comfortable with that being full volume and your ghost note hand being softer. very soft ghost notes, okay? So I do this for a while when I was getting started, just to get the idea of it. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. So you can even, like, when you're doing that exercise, you can hit that, we can hit a little note. Oh, let me change this up. I'm playing with Photoshop as I do, is how I'm doing the demonstrations. But if we put a little note right here for the kick drum on the 3 as well, and we're just doing the ghost notes, you can kind of get it like 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, once you get comfortable with that, we start accenting. We can get rid of that. Cool, got rid of that. So what we could do is get rid of that kick drum note on the 3, and we're gonna just accent that the of 2 where I got the red icon above it. Okay, so you're gonna go like this with ghost notes and then accent the of 2. And a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E. Okay. Oh, that's cool, man. I'm glad I'm explaining everything and you're understanding it. I like that a lot. So I always just want to make sure the way I explained it's very easily understood. There's no need to complicate drumming. It's actually a lot easier than people realize once you kind of understand everything and the body mechanics behind it and in the notes and stuff like that. So, okay. So that groove I just showed you, it's a really cool groove and a really good exercise to just keep working on the feel between the hi-hat and the snare drum on your ghost notes, okay? So then what we could do is we take a basic drum beat like this. I got the ghost notes written here, but in a rock form, this drum beat's played like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the essence of that beat. But now if we take it and change those uhs from the of 2, which is here, okay, and the of 4, okay, those are going to turn into ghost notes, and you're going to get a whole different feel from that, okay? So we go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm gonna move that out of the way. So I'll bring my ghost note here if I can. Okay, so it takes that main rock beat and makes it nice and smooth. Okay, pretty interesting concept. I got these things popping up on my screen. Okay, so now moving on to our third exercise, right? Taking another simple rock beat, which I'll play it for you in its rock beat form, and then I'll show you how it sounds with the ghost notes instead. All right? So, this is the rock form. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hit a little note at the end, but that's the essence of it, right? Now, if we take that and we put ghost notes on the E of 1 here, and we put ghost notes on the E of 3 here, right? Then we make it a little bit smoother with the ghost notes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, really changes the dynamics and makes it a whole nother beat when you do those ghost notes. And that's the cool thing about drumming, is those little nuances that you do actually make it way more interesting and colorful, okay? So when we just have, in my opinion, like with the music today, with everything quantized and everything's just put to the same volume and drum replacement and stuff like that, I feel like it takes the character out of the musicianship, actually. Even if they're playing it all, it just, when you do that and shift it to the computer grid, it just changes everything. So these little nuances about drumming are what make everything beautiful on this kit. Especially if you hit the drum off center versus center. When you take those kind of nuances out of it, it changes it and everything. So really cool concept with the drums. That's why I love it so much. You could do no wrong unless you're just completely off, you know. Okay, so if we look at our fourth beat, this is actually the most common drum beat that everybody wants to learn how to play, and it is this. Hey, I played that wrong. Okay? Everybody wants to learn that drum beat. But if you take a little bit and put those auxiliary snare hits on the of 2 and the E of 3, which is right here, right there, the of 2 and the E of 3, and we turn those into ghost notes, you get a little bit more of a funky feel to that beat, like this. Okay, a lot smoother, really cool. And I still play that drum beat today. It's one of the first drum beats I ever learned, and when you start adding different little characteristics to it, it just makes it a whole nother thing. And that's the cool thing about drumming, is we just start building on ideas and adding things to drum beats we already know and adding little nuances to it. So, all right, that's for that lesson for the ghost notes. I hope that helps you. Always leave some comments or send me some kind of, or leave them in the comments and let me know if it's helping you or what else you're struggling with. Hopefully this is clearly understood for you. I do offer online drum lessons, so whatever you're seeing in this video chat or my other videos is what you're going to get in your online lessons. And I send you music, and you have the music playing at the bottom of the screen and such. So I'm always here. I also offer in-person drum lessons in Las Vegas, Nevada. So yeah. Hit me up if anyone has any questions. I'm good at helping develop coordination. I'll get you understanding music and help you develop your own creativity on the drums. So if you wanted to play cover songs, you could do that. But if you wanted to join a band and write your own drum parts, I will help you develop your creativity for that as well. So once you learn the grid and how it's all put together, you'll be able to kind of create your own thing and understand the whole process. So with that being said, anybody got any questions in the chat? That's the lessons for today, so we're just going to wing it from here. If you got any questions or want to talk about whatever, drumming-wise or life, I don't care. We live in life over here, everybody. So let's play some drums. I'm going to do some kind of random stuff. I like playing snare drum a lot. It's one of my favorite things. I actually have a separate lesson in my lesson plan where I teach just snare drum stuff, but it goes hand in hand with the drum set and how we move around the toms and such, so. Going to switch this view back out. Went through my lessons pretty quick today. All right. Got to get these lights back on. I need the live show feel. Uh-oh. Got a notification from my kids. Nope, never mind. We're good. Did it go? Yep. Lively. I love playing with these lights. Anyone got any suggestions for colors on the lights or whatever? I can make all kinds of adjustments. If you want to see purple, green, pink, blue, whatever, let me know. Let's play some drums. So I get some circle headbanging going in this shit. Oh, sorry, not supposed to say that. Ah. So I try not to get too hyper over here. I haven't done that in forever. It's gonna hurt my neck. Has anybody else ever tried to circle headbang when they do that? All right. So yeah, what I like to do most on my drums after everything I do and whatnot is I like doing the 4-pedal action, and what you saw a little bit there was doing flam taps over the 4 pedals. Well, over 3 of them for now, but. All right, I love doing the 4-pedal stuff. You get a lot of really cool ideas out of it and such. All right. Okay. Let me know in the chat what you got, what you're working on with your drums. Anyone struggling with anything? Actually, what's your favorite thing to play on the drums? You guys have a favorite rudiment, or do you love doing double bass? What's everybody playing out there? Okay, what about accents? Has anyone ever done that with their double bass? Has anyone tried to create a little bit more feel with the double bass? And I know that a lot of times we get, and we all start like this with just doing straight dynamics. But what I like to do is actually create a groove aspect, taking some natural groove and putting it into it, like with a typical, like, right? It gets a little bit more feel to the double bass. Throw some little flurries in there, and you get some really cool ideas here. And then on top of doing double bass, has anyone tried to put a little more groove aspect with their hands? You know, we talked about ghost notes in this lesson. So if you're doing straight double bass, one second. Cameras shut off at 20 minutes. I'm mostly focusing on coordination so far. What type of coordination, Serge? Like hi-hat stepping, or what's something specific that you're working on? But yes, so taking ghost note ideas and putting those over double bass will actually make your double bass sound really, really sweet. So even if you do a static dynamic with the double bass, you can actually create groove with the hands if we're going like this. Now the ghost notes. Okay. Is your coordination related to metal, Serge? Just hands and feet, like are you trying to separate them or try to get them to, or are you trying to like individually work on coordination, like different patterns and such? Because one thing I like to do is, like I just did it a little bit, so you do 16th notes together, right? And then you would take either your hands and do, and then you would switch. Okay, I got you. Yeah. So trying to just get a little bit more independence. Like there's a lot of cool things you could do independence and coordination-wise over the double bass. And like this pattern I'm showing you here. So we'll do 30-second notes on the hands, come back to the 8th or the 16th notes, and then we'll do 30-second notes on the feet and come back to 16 notes together, like this. Okay, that's something you can work on. It works really good for metal and just kind of. I swear, every time I start watching myself on camera, I start messing up, trying to like follow my own coordination, but there's like this little lag to it. Dang, dude, I have not heard Napalm Death. Like almost like, dude, it's had to have been like 15 years since I heard that name, man. That's like when I first started getting playing and stuff. But I know what you're talking about. I like the older. I feel like there was a feel before, like all the over processing and quantizing, and dudes were actually playing and stuff. Cannibal Corpse, man, I was a big fan of them when I first started getting into drumming, dude. They had a very unique sound. I want to say a little bit of a newer age one was Job for a Cowboy. I really liked them, dude. They had a lot of style to the way they played death metal. It was really cool. It was like the drummer would do blast beats, but the guitars were doing more rhythmic stuff over the blast beats instead of following along with 16th notes and the tremolo picking like normal death metal. So I actually like to mix it up with my blast beats like that. I like to alternate the feet sometimes, but then I like to work on 4s and 8s and such with the different hands and stuff, or with the between left and right side feet. I have to put some old school death metal, man. I'm actually a big Demuth fan. I love Demuth Bourgier. Dude, some of their, especially was it Puritanical Misanthropic Euphoria? That album is just badass, to say the least. All right. We're getting pretty close to the end of the stream here. A couple more minutes, and then I got to go get my kids. Those kids are crazy. Anybody else got kids? Trying to still be a musician and a drum teacher while I got kids. I haven't played a thrash beat like that in forever, right? Haven't done that in so long. Oh, Serge, how did the last week's what is it? Was a Job for a Cowboy? What's COF? What's COF, man? And how did last week's little death metal drum fills go for you? Were you able to watch it again and kind of understand it? What is COF? I'm trying to think of what that is. I'm thinking of COD, Call of Duty. Oh, dang. Cradle of Filth. What? Bro, you got to be close to my age because, dang, I forgot about that, dude. I remember Nick Barker from Demuborgir was the drummer for the first Cradle of Filth album that I got. And then it switched to Adrian Erlinson, who is the brother of Arch Enemy drummer, right? Daniel Erlinson. Dude, Cradle of Filth. And then we used to play the one song. I'm not going to say the name of it on here, but it was, how did it go? It was like... If you know that one, I used to have the shirt of it when I was like and then I can't believe I would wear that or walking around Walmart and such. But damn, Cradle of Filth, dude, are they still around? I've seen them in concert quite a few times, dude. Danny Filth's vocals are nuts. Trying to think of what else I even listened to, man. Like at least like the older stuff. Dang. I had a whole book of CDs one day. This is way back when, and had all my favorite bands in there, and it got jacked, man. I had some really cool stuff in there. Trying to think of some stuff. I was a little bit into Fear Factory, too, for the rhythmatic stuff. That's something I could pop into my head, because I used to, like, there was a couple of songs I used to really dig on them, and then there was an album with Gene Hoglan that he played on with them, and it had a lot of really cool, like, kind of death metal-y, rhythmatic, but it was, like, a little bit different because he had Gene Hoglan on there. Dang, man. And then Michael Ackerfeld from Opeth had a side project, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was really cool. It was kind of like doom metal. Benediction. I don't know if I heard that one. Man, I'm going to have to go research some of my old bands for you, dude, and I'll bring some of those up next time. I'll kind of even, like, see if I can kind of work on a few of the drum parts for a second, just to kind of do some old school stuff, man, like the stuff that I got into when I first started. I was big into death metal and blast beats and double bass when I first started. And then I kind of got, weirdly, I got into, like, funk right away, too. Kind of mixed it all. But, dude, interesting choice of music. I like it. That's a lot of the stuff I used to listen to. So I'm trying to think, man. Children of Bodom. I used to listen to them a lot, dude. And I saw them in concert. That's how I got a hold of them, or got into them, is I saw them opening up for Lamb of God. And I just remember Alexi Leo shredding on the guitar, and then the keyboard player was just rolling across that keyboard like it was nothing. Really cool band. Interesting. All right, everyone. I want to thank everyone for coming out today and joining me with the X-Groove live stream. I am here every Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you enjoyed what you saw today, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Or like the video, subscribe to the channel. You know what I mean. But I will be here every week doing this. I'm trying to do the shorts and long form and see how it works. But I do live drum lessons each week, kind of like clinic style. Give it a couple things where I demonstrate, and then we'll get into some drumming and some just improv stuff. If you have any questions, I leave community posts out to let me know what you want to cover or want me to cover in the next week's stream so I can get a little prepared for it. But otherwise, I will see you all next week. Serge, thanks again for joining me. It's good to see you. I'll see you next week. I'm going to research some of my bands for you, and we'll or some of the bands I used to listen to, and we'll kind of do a little more chatting up on that, dude. Thanks again, everyone. I will see you next week.